Welcome back, beautiful, beloved souls. My name is Gem Stone, and I'm a psychic medium, and I am an author. I'm an author of over 40 books, and just like my books vary, so does content on here. It's mainly a commentary channel, and I look at anything and everything to do with life and death through a lens. And because I am a psychic medium, I know how to remote view and I know how to channel. Both of these are different. Think of remote viewing as pieces of a puzzle, where channeling is more like a completed puzzle. Now, if you're interested in learning how, or you want to learn how to remote view, I'm offering a PDF for $1.50. If you want to learn how to channel the signal within for $2, or you can have both for $3. And that's my PayPal address, and that's my email contact. I'll leave it up a little while longer. This commentary that we're going to do, I've already discussed I've discussed special star seeds, RH negative blood, and I felt like this next commentary was a natural progression. So let's get on with it. Why the obsession with ancient bloodlines is distracting truth seekers from inner growth. What if the greatest distraction in modern spirituality is the obsession with being special, not healing, not awakening, but believing your DNA makes you spiritually superior? Because right now, millions of people are searching desperately through RH negative theories, starseed identities, ancient royal bloodlines, extraterrestrial ancestry. So trying to find proof that they were always different, always chosen. But what if this entire fixation is pulling people away from the actual work of consciousness? Because while we chase ghosts in our genetics, our inner world quietly starves. The provocative challenge. You've been told your bloodline might make you elite. That hidden DNA sequences explain why you feel disconnected. That your loneliness, sensitivity, or intuition proves you descend from something ancient and extraordinary. And for a moment, that story feels comforting. It gives pain meaning. Isolation becomes destiny. Confusion becomes cosmic importance. But in this commentary video, we need to ask a difficult question. What if the obsession with special origins is actually a sophisticated trap for the ego? The lure of the genetic pedestal. Let's be honest about why these ideas became so powerful. Because they offer something deeply seductive. Identity, not ordinary identity. Mythic identity. You're not just struggling, you're awakening. You're not isolated, you're different by design. You're not misunderstood. You belong to an ancient lineage hidden from the masses. And psychologically, that can feel intoxicating, especially in a world where many people feel emotionally unseen. The rise of Rh negative and starseed culture. Over the past decades, online spiritual culture has exploded with theories about Rh negative blood, hybrid ancestry, galactic origins, ancient royal DNA, hidden genetic awakening, and algorithms love these topics. Why? Because mystery plus identity equals engagement. The moment someone hears you are different because of your bloodline, attention locks in. Because humans crave significance, especially during uncertainty. Escapism disguised as awakening. Now, this doesn't mean people are foolish. It means people are searching for explanation, meaning, belonging. But sometimes spirituality becomes less about growth and more about escape, because it's easier to imagine hidden cosmic origins than confront unresolved wounds in the present. It's easier to believe your DNA is activated than sit quietly with grief, fear, loneliness, or insecurity. The ancient myth becomes a mirror we hide behind. The trap of the inherited ego. This is where things become dangerous psychologically, because spiritual ego rarely looks like arrogance. It looks like uniqueness, specialness, chosen identity. And once someone deeply identifies with being a star seed, a bloodline carrier, an awakened genetic anomaly, they stop exploring. They start defending. They search for truth, quietly transforms into protection of identity. The chosen one problem. Here's the paradox. The more spiritually special someone feels, the harder it can become to connect authentically with others, because now there's a separation, them and us, awakened and asleep, special bloodlines and ordinary humans. But genuine consciousness expansion tends to do the opposite. It increases humility, empathy, interconnectedness, not hierarchy. Ancient crowns for modern pain. A lot of these myths operate like emotional armor. They protect people from feeling ordinary, vulnerable, or powerless. And in fairness, modern life often does feel spiritually empty. So the fantasy of ancient hidden importance becomes emotionally magnetic, but there's a hidden cost. You stop asking, how do I grow? And start asking, what secret lineage validates me? One question transforms you, the other sedates you. The cost of externalizing power. There's a point where researching ancestry becomes less about curiosity and more about displacement. Hours disappear into forums, symbols, theories, hidden histories. Meanwhile, physical health declines, relationships weaken, emotional wounds remain untouched, and real life waits patiently in the corner. Because the mind begins outsourcing power into mythology. The dormant DNA fantasy. One of the most seductive ideas is the belief in dormant activation, that one day hidden abilities will unlock, consciousness will suddenly elevate, memories will awaken, powers will emerge. And while transformation is possible psychologically and spiritually, real growth rarely arrives as magical activation. It usually arrives through discipline, honesty, emotional work, self-awareness, responsibility. No cosmic shortcuts. The sovereignty irony. This is the irony nobody talks about. People searching obsessively for sovereignty through ancient bloodlines. They often become dependent on the mythology itself, waiting for external confirmation, external validation, external destiny. But sovereignty isn't inherited, it's practiced every single day in choices, in character, in how you treat people when nobody is watching. Turning the alchemy inward. Now here's where things become powerful, because maybe the qualities people project onto ancient lineages actually exist within human potential itself. Wisdom, intuition, creativity, presence, sensitivity. Not because you descended from extraterrestrial royalty, but because these are latent human capacities. And perhaps ancient myths survive because they symbolize psychological truths, not literal genetic superiority. The real inner temple. People search pyramids, bloodlines, ancient civilizations, while neglecting the most important landscape of all, their own mind, their habits, their reactions, their fears, because real alchemy is painfully ordinary sometimes. It's learning patience, integrity, self-control, compassion. Not glamorous, but transformative. Redefining true alchemy. True alchemy is not turning your identity into gold. It's redefining your character. It's becoming harder to manipulate, harder to destabilize, more aware, more grounded, more capable of existing without needing to feel superior. And honestly, that work is much harder than believing you inherited secret cosmic DNA. Reclaiming the path of the individual. So, how do we move forward without swinging into cynicism? Simple. Stay curious, but stay grounded. You can appreciate mythology, ancestry, symbolism, and mystery without building your entire identity around them. Because the moment a belief prevents growth, it stops being wisdom. Honoring ancestors without becoming trapped. You can honor your ancestors beautifully without becoming imprisoned by their mythology. Maybe your ancestors survived hardship. Maybe they carried resilience, intuition, creativity, survival instincts. Wonderful. Honor those qualities by embodying them now, not by worshipping the past without neglecting the present. The real work of consciousness. The deepest spiritual work often looks very unspiritual from the outside. It looks like accountability, emotional regulation, healing trauma, building meaningful relationships, learning discernment, sitting honestly with yourself. No glowing DNA activation, no hidden royal title, just the difficult refinement of being human. Final reflection. So, what if the obsession with ancient bloodlines is really a longing for significance? And what if the significance was never hidden in your genetics, but in your capacity to grow consciously? Because maybe the truth seeker's greatest journey was never backwards into ancient myths. Maybe it was inward all along. Closing. Your value does not depend on being descended from kings, aliens, or forgotten civilizations. You do not need cosmic elitism to justify your existence. The real transformation begins the moment you stop asking, "Was I born special?" and start asking, "What am I becoming?" Because blood may carry history, but consciousness is built through choice. All right, beautiful beloveds, I ask that if you are going to leave a comment, that you do so respectfully. And remember, I have looked at star seeds and DNA and Rh negative blood on this channel before. And again, I'm just going to briefly hold this up while I close. So thank you again for being here. I appreciate any and every view. And please do drop a comment because comments make me feel heard. And I ask that you be kind to one another. Smile at a stranger. You might just save someone's life. And please, most of all, take care of yourselves because your lives are precious and they do matter. You are special. You are loved. Thanks again. Love, light, and blessings. See you on the weekend. Bye.